In lieu of the new Scream 7, we're talking the Scream series ranked worst to best. I want to talk about it because I think we're going to have a couple different opinions, and there are some really high-rated movies that we don't feel good about, and there's some lower-rated movies we feel pretty good about in this series. This is Minor League Films. Please hit that like button, hit that sub button, and without further ado, let's jump into it.
All your friends died for just being near you.
Where is my daughter?
So, Scotty. Got the Scream series, which we've much talked about. What is it? February
27th.
27th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 27th, the new one comes out, which we're going to talk about that, probably wrap us up with our expectations for the new one. But we got this series, Scream, one of my favorite horror movie series of all time. But we've had some hitters and we've had some clear misses. So what we're going to do is going to rank them worst to best here and talk about kind of why we feel that way about those movies. If you are in the comments, let us know how you feel about them and which ones do you think are underrated, which ones you think are overrated. Let us know. So, Scotty, you want to go first?
Yeah, the last place for me has to be Scream 3. Like the motivation of the killer, the reveal and the motivation. I don't know which one is worse. Like finding out that, oh, it's my long lost brother who has never meant to contact me at all, never wanted to have a conversation, never wanted to get along, even do anything. No, I'm going to become a millionaire in the same industry our mother was in. And then once I become a millionaire, I'm going to make a fake set in a movie just to get my sister in here. If you, instead of doing all that, you could have just hired somebody to kill her, or you could just kill her yourself.
Yeah.
That was the worst. And then he tried to kill her because of what was it? Because it's her fault apparently that the mother's dead. But I'm not sure how that works.
It was basically because that she got attention and he didn't from the family, and he felt that it was her fault. Basically, there wasn't really a good reason. And I'll go. Actually, it's kind of funny. So this is synopsis. They say in the final installation of the trilogy, a murder spree begins to happen again. This time targeted the original Woodsboro survivors and those associated with the movie inside a movie. So Stab 3, Sydney must face her demons to stop killers from the past, which ended up being her brother. I'm with you. This is something where the movies were making a lot of money. 1 and 2 one was really good. 2 was pretty good in my opinion. And they were like, oh, we got to throw out another one. Yeah, at that point, it got dry. And at that point, they started to force the things in of, oh, you got to have rules. You got to have new rules. Now the killer can't be killed no matter what you do. And the past always comes back to haunt you, which they should have left that in the past, obviously, because it's so easy for these movies to do a copycat killer. I mean, I think we've rolled with that ever since then, but that's a better, I know it's a little dry and maybe a little lazy, but that's a better explanation than you have a long lost brother you never knew about. And Scotty, we always do this with movies. It's like we get these movies where this person has to have a career to get to this point. It's like when what was it? And Now You See Me, where the guy became an FBI, like a head FBI agent, just to get revenge. It's like, so you went to school, worked 10 years, overtime, and all this is to get you could have hired a killer, like you said. So always have a problem with those. No surprise here. My worst is also Scream 3. I just don't think there's really not much in here that's very good. I mean, there's some kills that are okay. I like that scene with the suits where they have all the suits in there and the killer can kind of play with that a little bit. But besides that, there's not really any likable characters other than the ones that we've been hanging out with for 2 movies. There's not much adding to the series. It's not this movie doesn't push the series forward or make it creative in any kind of way. And I think that's the worst part of this.
Yeah, if anything, it was like 2 steps back.
It is. Okay, so both our worst is Scream 3, and I guess that ranks as 6 of 6. We'll go with Slow Snake format. I will go with my 5th worst Scream movie to come out so far, and I guess to surprise some people, Scream 6. Scream 6 is actually rated very high, and I got it pulled up here. It's actually a 90% audience score, 70% Rotten Tomato meter score, and basically it just follows the kids from last time as they go to New York. I have a love-hate with this movie. I think this movie sets up a lot of good things, and I think it drops every single one of them. I think the Scream cult that they kind of were alluding to at the beginning of the movie with the first kill, and it's like, oh, maybe there's a cult of these killers going around, and we might just beg upon some people who just want to kill these guys to kind of get famous with this cult. And it's like, no, we're dropping all that. It's actually a revenge story of a guy who was already crazy, and his entire family decides to take revenge for no reason in another city. So I have a lot of beef with this movie. I think it sets up some great kills. I think some really good scenes. I think that what is it? It was a bodega. That bodega scene with the killer was one of the more like rough. I was like, oh my God, okay. And that's actually what they sold the movie on. I was like, okay, he's in here for business. And it's like, it's great parts like that. And then it's silly parts like the girl twin who just gets stabbed because she doesn't want to say anything or move in the train station. Also to a point where it's like, there's also a ton of people around. Like, you can't just stab people. And I get it's New York, crazy stuff happens, but there's always somebody videotaping. There's always some witness. Like, this stuff happens, but it doesn't go silently. And I think that was one of the worst probably scenes of the series.
Yeah, Scream 6 is also my number 5. Like, I would like to say that Scream 3 is the only Scream that I just flat out don't like and wouldn't want to watch again. I like number 6 a lot. I just think, like you said, it's one of the silliest things I've ever seen. But I like the movie. It wasn't really too many dull moments. I like all the characters. Usually I don't like new characters in horror franchises. I like all the new characters, like Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son, Mason Gooden. He can't die. I mean, when he takes his shirt off, his body's got to be like Batman.
He's bulletproof.
Yeah, he's getting stabbed up, shot up. There's a super silly scene. I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. When Jenna Ortega's hanging from the rafters, and the killer's down below holding the knife.
Was they repeat?
She lands on the knife and still ends up being able to kill the killer. I was like, no. That's from that fall alone, that's already going to hurt you. But you landed on a knife. No, whatever's in here is torn to pieces. Like,
they
can't die. So I thought that was silly. And the motivation, like. Yeah, my dad's a police chief. You just never knew that. You know, we dated for a while in the last movie, but you never knew my dad was a police chief, and you never knew that I had a sister and a brother that may have had some mental issues at all. So she just never met his family or anything.
No, to the point where the whole family just has to have.
And how is the whole family? The entire family is crazy, and not just crazy, like super crazy. No, we didn't need that. That's like number 3 all over again, but this is more entertaining.
Yeah, it's just too much to believe that they're all insane to that point. It's like, okay, we'll do this. And also to the fact that small town Woodsboro, some killings happen. Now, we all know the FBI would show up. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Small town, they don't have the resource. Maybe it takes the FBI a little bit to get there. New York City, like, you have a very famous copycat killer on the loose, and you send one agent who just happened to be like, who was having to deal with these killings before and Hayden Panettiere. You send just her, and it's really no investigation going on, no kind of thinking about a police department. Where like you would get royally sued for not hailing this as fast as possible, especially at a college campus in a city like New York. It's just, I don't know, man. It's so many good ideas, and I'm mad because I think Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera are really good central characters. I think Cuba Gooding Jr. like, after seeing him in Hard Eyes, I'm like, this dude deserves like more and more. Like, I would have been mad if in Scream 7 it was him, maybe him and his sister, and they're the leads, and you can kind of introduce the characters from there. So I think they just waste a lot of talent with lazy scripts in Scream 6. And again, audience loved it. It's 90% here, so 9 out of 10 people are saying you should see this. But for us both, it's what, 5 out of 6. So there we go. Scotty, I'll let you take the next one because I feel like we'll start to differ a little bit here, but go for the next one.
Maybe because I have Scream 2 as my my number 4.
We do differ.
Oh yeah, so I know what yours is going to be. I didn't care about Billy Loomis's mother being the killer at all. I don't think the movie, again, I don't dislike the movie at all. I think that's a much better choice than having her long lost brother. At least Billy Loomis's mom being crazy could make some sense. Now, crazy enough to have elaborate schemes and try to kill Sydney for merely defending herself against her crazy son, probably unlikely, but I think the movie was set up well. I just like other movies in the series better than this one, but I don't think it's a bad movie. That's when I started to go down the train of so the next killer can't be anybody reasonable. Before Scream 3 came out, I said it can't be anybody reasonable because him and his mother, that makes sense. Who else are you going to bring in? So I think this was not bad. I think it was actually above average, but I just didn't care for the mother being the killer, so that's why it's number 4, but not bad.
I could buy that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's a little higher on my list, but at number 4 of 6, I'm gonna go with Scream 5, which you would know. Which I don't think this is a bad movie by any means. Like, yeah, this is the first where they introduced the new characters. I think of all the movies, and this could probably be said by 2, this feels like your average Scream movie. Like, if you make this in 20 years. Do one to make it another 20 years. That's what Scream 5 kind of feels like. It's like, okay, we don't have anything revolutionary like a movie I'll mention higher on my list. We're not doing anything necessarily new here because technology just hasn't moved that much forward to where things have changed that much, as they've alluded to in another movie. But it's like, we're gonna do some new characters. I thought it was cool bringing the old characters back. Like I said, I like the new characters, and there were some deaths in Scream 5 where I was like, oh, okay, I'm not talking about Dewey. Like, again, him dying is not really much of a surprise, but some of the newer characters, I'm like, oh, well, they got him in here. We know him. He'll be around a while. Nope, never mind. So they had some of the more, like, I thought the deaths in here, some of the best parts of who they decided to kill, and when the reveal, thought it was pretty obvious. One may or may not have guessed it. The other one is like, as soon as that guy walks on screen, it's like, yeah, it's him. Like, it's gonna be like, you knew it was gonna be Jack Quaid as soon as he was cast. But no, I like Scream 5. It's a like for me. I like it, but I think it's generic as far as the series goes. It's kind of like the bar. Be Scream 5 or better, and I'll be like, okay, I can rock with that.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, as you know, I like 5. I guess we should get into my number 2 because I'm sorry, number 3. Excuse me. I like Scream 5 a lot. That was a really, really nice soft reboot they did. Of course, as you said, I knew Jack Quaid was going to be the villain because Jack Quaid. Why not? One of the silliest deaths, but is my favorite death in the movie, is when they're running from the killer in the hospital. And Dewey comes in there as the hero. I knew he was going to die. I did not think that was a bad send off because he did what he came to do. And David Arquette, I know David Arquette has some Dewey-like problems in real life. I think he was a good role. I wish Dewey would have stayed alive, but still, I liked everybody. I remember I had that detective moment in the scene. There's a scene where the twin asked the one girl to go downstairs and grab some drinks for a party of like 35 people, and she grabs 2 beers. I said, that's the killer. Because ain't no way. If I ever said, hey, Flyknit, go downstairs, get me some drinks, you came with 2 beers, I would kick you down the stairs and lock the door. I'm like, no, he's a demon. Somebody possessed him. There's no way he didn't grab at least a 6-pack. So I enjoyed it. I don't think there's any dull moments in this one. I even like the silly scene where the killer went to the chief of police's house and was talking trash on the phone all the way there. I like that scene. So it's a little higher for me, but I knew you were going to pick it as your number. Was that number 3?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, I think that was a great trap scene as far as like bringing her home, thinking her son was going to die, and he's perfectly fine. And he just got her to get her back. Some really good scenes in that movie. So I'll go with my number.
Taking his turn twice in a row. I understand.
Wait, no, you did. You just went first. I went first at 5. You went first at 4. So now I'm first at 3.
I'm not a counter.
Okay. But one of the most, let us know, like that video. And if you agree with our rankings so far, we appreciate it. Hit that sub button and bell so you know we go live. Okay, so at number 3, it's obviously going to be Scream 2. I don't know if that's obvious, not obvious, but Scream 2. Riding off a lot of nostalgia. I don't think it's very hard to guess the killers, but I just think it's fun rolling with our original characters. Obviously, they go to college, things change. There's a lot of PTSD involved, which I think they do a solid job with the PTSD in that movie, especially with Sydney, and then things start happening over again. I think some of the kills are really cool. The one where they go out the window very early on. Also, when they play around with the auditorium before it gets silly, because I think it does get a little silly at the end, but I like them playing around in the auditorium. Obviously, Jamie Kennedy, him getting pulled in the van is a little bit silly, but it's also too, I think they pull enough stuff over from the first movie to make it very nostalgic, but also very fun. And one of the more underrated parts is now I'm forgetting his name, the black dude that's in there. The fact that he's like, there's a killer here, and he just walks right up out the movie. I'll get his name in a minute. But yeah, I thought that was one of the funniest scenes. And then when it's done, he comes back as a cameraman, like, oh, here, Gail, go for it. Now that you got this all solved. Or the most realistic black character maybe in horror movie history. I got to get that guy's name. I'll remember in a minute.
The dude, that played Bud on Cosby Show. Yep.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of fun. I think when you do a sequel, and there was really no, I think Scream was revolutionary enough to where there's really no way to kind of repeat it. I think the fact that they make it not necessarily a spoof, but a little bit spoofy, playing with the rules, with the characters and stuff like that, and also have some really good kills in here. It's definitely number 3 for me. I think it's a solid movie. Doesn't hit where the first one does, but I think it's really good.
I can get with that. Like I said, my only problem was I just didn't care about the mom being the villain. But everything else, like you said, with the black dude was great. I can't remember his name either. He was a boyfriend of sister for a while too, and I can't remember.
I'll get it a minute, but that was like that was the funniest part. But I think that movie is a good way to do a sequel when you're like, we don't have as much as we did have, but we got enough to roll it over.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3.
My number 3 is Scream 4. I know you like Scream 4 a lot. When it first came out, I didn't really like it at all because it's a random, college kid. To me, was a random college kid. I see how she was connected. And I saw it. This learning about the psychosis throughout the movie. Okay, it's actually a pretty good movie. Like that was their first way to soft reboot the Scream series. I like that it was a different villain. I didn't care for her motivation as much at first. Like I said, during the rewatch, I said, "Oh, this is written pretty well." Emma Roberts played a good villain. Even the classmates around her played good roles. He brought the old crew back. It was fun. It was because Scream is more of the fun slasher variety in most of the movies, and I had fun watching it again. So yeah, that's my number 3. I thought it was pretty good. A lot better than 2 and 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Dwayne Martin's who we were talking about is Scream 2.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, that's right. Bud was in Scream 3. He was the guy in Scream 3. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now I know you're talking about. Yeah, Dwayne Martin, so that was funny. But yeah, I'm with you. I think they do a lot of good stuff rebooting it, and that's really why. That's supposed my one here. My number 2 is Scream 4. I think the reboot of kind of washing out the old stuff, but bringing the new characters in. And I think that's the right way. And we just saw, I Know What You Did last summer, try to replicate this and not do it well at all. When they bring back the old characters in this one, it's not about them. They're not in central. Then we have these new characters, like you said, Emma Roberts. We have what's the Home Alone kid's brother? What's his name?
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, he's in here. I think he does well. Hayden Panettiere is in here, and the fact that they early on they say, all right, like we get the old Scream. We know you've done it. That was cool, but like we're in a new era where we have everything's videotaped online. If you're gonna kill people and get famous off it, there's social media involved, and it kind of was enough time to where social media is pretty new. I think what Scream 4 is 2011. Yeah. So social media is pretty new. The end of MySpace, the start of Facebook, and start of I don't know when Vine came out, but it started short videos online. And kind of just rolling with that kind of new technology. And the fact that Emma Roberts is doing all this just because she wants to get famous, not work, and be able to tell this story and kind of live off of it. We have that now every day where people go to these crazy events and then they just become famous off of that. They're on everyone's podcast. They're doing all this. I thought it was a very future way. Instead of the first one where it's like, First movie, you went through something horrific. It's like, I have PTSD. I don't want to live this. You got these kids like, you know what? I get famous off this and kind of make my career off of it. And it also gets crazy. I think there's some good scenes. This is another one where it's Woodsboro. It's kind of hard to believe you're having this happen for the fourth time, and there's no FBI. There's no, like, the police are terrible, and the kids are still partying. The most thing there, hey, let's go out and party at a barn in the woods, and nothing bad will happen. So there's silly stuff like that, but I think this is really fun, and I think this is a good way to update a movie, and I think this is the advantage of giving it some time. And I think that's a little bit problem with the Scream series is they're not giving any time. They're just like, oh, we're back. Roll it, roll it, roll it.
Yeah.
You got Scream 3. And then it was like, oh, we're back. Roll it, roll it, roll it. And for me, we got Scream 6. So I think this was a perfect time to, like, between 1 and 4 is a good space to be like, let's let some stuff happen. Let's let the world grow a little bit. And then you can modernize this movie. So that's why it's my number 2.
Yeah, I can give it that. My number 2 is Scream 5. I loved every minute of Scream 5, even from like a shooting standpoint. I thought it was filmed really, really well. I thought the acting was good. I like the introduction of Mason Gooding and his twin sister. I can't remember his twin sister's name. I thought the killers made a little bit of sense. I like how I didn't really know whether Jenna Ortega was in it. At first, I had her as the killer because she was acting weird. And
could be.
Yeah, I enjoyed the whole movie. I thought that was a better soft reboot than number 4. I enjoyed it. And the sheriff, even the sheriff, we got a sheriff that wasn't completely incompetent. I thought she might have been taking over Dewey's role. I was a little wrong about that, but I liked all the characters. Usually in these movies, I do not like all the characters. So, and I like how the scene where Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox pull up, and the girls come outside screaming, and they're like, "No, we should shoot her." I was like, "Yes, we don't have to go through this elaborate scheme." I like that. So, I enjoyed the whole movie. That's my number 2.
Yeah, one part too of just the character. And I think they did a good job with Scream 5 is Melissa Barrera. The fact that they make her, the fact that she's Billy Loomis's daughter, but she also has that edge of like crazy. Is like I thought it was really cool, and the fact that he actually mutilated Jack Quaid at the end of that movie, get the kills are rough in Scream 5, but the fact that she did that, and I thought they kind of got away from that in Scream 6. That was my little bit of beef of like she's crazy, but like in Scream 5, like they show the fact that she's crazy. In Scream 6, it's a superpower. It's like now you just can't be killed because you're crazier than everyone else, and we won't let you forget you're crazy versus like letting her just be crazy in peace until it comes out. So I like Scream 5. I can definitely bump it up a spot or two, the argument, but again with 4, I just think if we had the characters from Scream 5 and like threw them in the premise of Scream 4, probably have been perfect for me. Could have competed with the original, but so clearly make sure you like the video. Let us know your ranking, but there's no surprise here with number 1 is going to be the original Scream for both of us. Obviously, it modernized horror and introduced those rules that we knew for a long time, but nobody ever spoke about it. Nobody ever said, hey, we knew if you have sex, you're probably end up dead, but no one ever said it. And then we definitely didn't have killers playing off of those rules and kind of being like, oh, wait, we can't kill you yet. So I think Scream 1 is obviously innovative, just like you do. But want to move the conversation a little bit, unless you have more you want to add on Scream 1. But
no, we got the same Dawson. Same Dawson on Scream 1. That's just, I think that's arguably the best in the series.
Yeah, it is. I don't even think it's arguably. It is the best so far. But Scream 7 obviously coming out. I will do a video pretty soon on it and then break it down a little further. But just want to ask you, we got Scream 7. Sydney's obviously back. Courtney Cox is back as well. Movie featuring her daughter. What are your expectations for Scream 7? Because I don't really know what to expect at this point. I don't know what they were going to do. I want to be mildly surprised, but I guess we'll see.
I like I know a lot of people complaining about the daughter inclusion. I like the daughter inclusion in there. It just gives Nev Campbell more stakes than it. Because if it's just Nev Campbell alone, I could see Nev Campbell shrugging off every phone call in the movie and not really caring. But her daughter there, I said, okay, well, now there's a level of danger. I'm excited to see it not be who's a friend of Billy Loomis in the first one?
Stu.
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard.
Stu. I'm excited for it not to be Stu. There is a shot in the trailer where you see a psychiatric ward. So Stu actually might have lived and stayed in there. I really hope they're not building this up to have Stu come back and be the killer after all these years of apparently whoever this killer has been watching her life through all these years, why he would take so long. I'm hoping they're not building up, oh, it's Stu. He's just been waiting. I don't want to see that. That's going to ruin the movie for me. That's going to be not as bad as I Know What You Did Last Summer #3, but along the same vein, like, I don't need you to bring back this other character for no reason at all. Make it somebody that we really don't expect. You can put Stu in the movie, which I'm hoping they just have him in the movie, showing the psychiatric ward. I hope he's warning people about what's happening, and I hope it's someone that we cannot guess. I want to be someone that nobody can guess at all. That's what I want.
Yeah, you know, I think it would be cool, and I don't know if they will do this, but if they bring Stu back and just have him fill in Matthew Lillard, fill in the Dewey role, and just have him team up with Ned Campbell and be like, you know, what we did in the past was wrong. I'll help you make up for it, help you, you know, save your daughter, protect you, and let's team up and try to figure out who this is. Thinking back, if they're going to pull someone from the past and they make it seem like it's going to be maybe the first movie, I don't know who it necessarily would be if it's not Stu, and they seem to be leaning on that. So I think he's the obvious one, but I think it's almost too obvious. And I think I give the writers a little bit of credit. I think they know that. Yeah. So I think pulling him back with Courtney Campbell, that gives you kind of an old crew. It's just really on me if these young actors can act. Like if City's daughter is really good and captivating, then I think it'll be good. It's just like I feel like Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, maybe not at all times, but did such a good job with the material they were given that it's like people were pretty behind them. And that's the kind of thing online. Like some people don't want to go see it because they're not in it and they feel like there's some kind of politics that had got them out. But it's like I think they did such a good job that it's like you wanted to ride with those characters and see where they go. Or if not, just blow it up and maybe ride with the twins and see where that goes. But obviously the twins are back. So it really depends on if these new girls can act. If they can act, I think we'll be okay. I think Matthew Lillard's good, really good enough of an actor. I mean, he was the only really saving grace in Five Nights at Freddy's for me. I think you as well. That I would love to see him given a star role in this and see what he can do coming back. And I think it'll be fun. It'd be very, Final Destination-ish where, I forget her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about, where she comes back in the second one, I believe. It kind of helps them because she survived the events of the first one. So I think that would be cool. But yeah, I don't really have a lot to say. I don't know where they're going to go with this. And it's just like, these are so repeated and so fast that it's like, do you really have an idea or are you cash grabbing? And that's my worry, that they're cash grabbing.
I hope they have some good ideas. Like I said, if it's Stu, that's going to ruin the whole movie for me. I like your idea of having Stu come in and help him. I don't even know if Melissa Barrera, because at first she came out in an interview recently and said that it had nothing to do with politics, that her contract was only for 2 movies anyway. She was just grateful to be in there. Now, sure, it could have been maybe they said, oh, we don't need you because you said this, and we were just not going to renew your contract. But that ain't what she said. So I'm going to go see it. Opening day.
Yeah, we'll be in there. We'll see. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people talk about it and kind of have, but you're never in those rooms. You never know. She could have outgrown it. She could have got what she wanted to get out of it. I mean, she's kind of blowing up. Jenna Ortega's already a star. She doesn't need Scream or anything. I think it was her interest to keep doing horror movies, which is cool. And I think obviously she was fantastic in Wednesday, especially that second season. I thought she was really, really good in that. So I think she could do whatever she wants, both of them. And I think the good thing about Scream is giving people opportunities. Maybe they say, hey, you guys are up now. We don't need you. Maybe you'll cameo later and we can bring somebody new in that they can act and deserves a chance. So, yeah. But that's Scream ranked. So, Pete, Scotty, what was your rankings total?
My ranking was least to best was Scream 3, then Scream 6, then it was Scream 2, it was Scream 4, 5, and 1.
Okay. And then mine, Scream 3 was last, 6 after that, 5 after that, 2, 4 second best, and then 1, obviously, the original classic. So we'll see where 7 ranks among those. Hopefully it's up at the top. We'll cross our fingers and see. But yeah, I got a video on the Scream series coming up, so make sure you look out for that. And we're going to be doing a few things. Also, one thing I wanted to jump in there, a lot of people don't really know this, but Scream is based off true events. So I'm gonna do a little video essay on the real events where are pretty damn horrifying and does have to do with kids in school. So yeah, we got a video coming up on that. So look out for that. Scotty, if they're not here on YouTube and they are other places, where can they find us at?
You can find us on Minor League Films on TikTok. We're also on MLF Shorts YouTube, Corona Comics on TikTok, where I just talk about random comic books and do a little bit of Corona Comics on YouTube as well. There's also Minor League Films on Instagram.
There you go. All those places. Look out for us. Everything will be in the bio. That's great. Looking forward to the new one. The series as it ranks. All that. We will catch you next time.